Welcome to Get Ready to Be Ready, a World Trade Center Arkansas original. This podcast is brought to you by the University of Arkansas, OWIT Arkansas, and the World Trade Center Arkansas, with special thanks to the World Trade Center Association, the Small Business Administration, the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, the Arkansas Department of Agriculture, the Arkansas Aerospace and Defense Alliance, and all of our incredible partners who help make this possible. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you enjoy, get ready to be ready, and remember, we grow trade.
Welcome to Get Ready to Be Ready podcast series with the World Trade Center Arkansas. I'm your host, Denise Thomas, CEO of World Trade Center Arkansas. This is the second episode of our special fireside chat with Kevin Parkerson, President and CEO of KB Global Logistics Consulting, an Arkansas-based company that's making waves in the global logistics. Let's get started. Kevin, we've already found out a little bit about you, so we're going to dive right into asking you a series of questions to help people better understand trade readiness for imports.
I'm ready.
You're ready?
I'm
All
ready.
right. The idea is for us to help them get ready too.
All right, let's do it.
When a company is thinking about expanding into trade, what are the key questions they should ask themselves or take into consideration to make sure they are ready?
Yeah, we'll cover a little bit of those today, but in the course, we'll cover them a lot more, a lot of the top questions and drill down deeper. But ultimately, you need to know why. Why do you want to go global? Is it to increase revenue? Is it to diversify your customer base? Is it to, understanding the why helps us get our resources aligned on exactly what the efforts and the approach should be. Another one really is understanding the regulatory compliance. International trade is complex, and understanding that is a foundation of the exploratory stage of should I go global? So those are two key questions. Lots more, but I would definitely, ask a client those two questions in the beginning stages of trying to develop a new import program.
Perfect. What are some of the biggest factors companies overlook when assessing the risk and the benefits of engaging in international trade?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but really there's hidden cost in international trade. Some of our earlier sessions, we talked about tariffs, the compliance and regulatory aspect of it, duties. There are hidden costs when you go global, and understanding that and understanding that in a great detail is highly critical. The next one really is lead time variability. It's not that if you're moving domestically, there's a little bit more things to consider. Weather is always an issue, domestic or international. Port congestion, geopolitical activities, those have a lot of impact on the lead time, and understanding that and knowing that up front is highly critical.
Are you going to be able to give people a better understanding of what it means to have multiple sources for a product and why that's important?
It is, and that is part of a optimization and part of a risk mitigation process and a program that will be highlighted in the courses that will give a lot more detail of exactly how to approach that, how to create a risk mitigation program, but that's highly critical for anybody exploring a new import program.
So I'm going to ask you a question that we didn't talk about me asking.
Oh, good.
So that question really is, give me 3 reasons why a person would want to do some form of mitigation for their product.
Well, look, moving product out of the country into the country internationally has its challenges. And there are always going to be service disruptions and things that you didn't plan for. And contingency planning has been a big part of my career, at the companies that I've worked for. And that risk mitigation, contingency planning is ultra critical to have a strategy. So that when those events that you didn't plan for occur, international trade is, like I said many times, it's very complex, and you will have challenges that you did not plan for. And added cost, service that we talked about before, those are negatively impacted when those disruptions occur.
So a COVID, a pandemic would be an example. Another example would be
Red Sea right
Yeah.
now, the tariffs in some way can be one of those. ILA labor on the East Coast. I mean, we could go down the list. There could be, systems, viruses, things of that nature, cybersecurity. All of those things are things that you need to have part of your contingency planning.
I always think about within the contingency planning companies that don't have that, and I see the news, and the news is talking about how a carrier was tipped over from a rogue wave, and half of the containers are floating in the water and are destroyed. So being able to manage, understanding that you need to have enough of this product in your warehouse or in factory to be able to mitigate even something that simple where everything is working as it should, and all of a sudden there's a weather episode at sea that impacts your business. So helping people better understand that. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me ask you the curveball question. Kevin, from your experience, what's the most important thing a company should understand about their own supply chain before they dive into trade?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would say understanding your current capabilities and your current limitations domestically, because international trade is very complex. And if you're having challenges, if you're having limitations, if your capabilities are strained domestically, that will be exponentially larger internationally. So understanding where your supply chain is, where the holes are, how mature it is ultra critical, because that will give you a window of what to anticipate or expect or plan for or remedy on the international trade side.
Wonderful. Is there anything you'd like to say that I haven't asked?
I think, building relationships. I'll every chance that I get, I'm going to pull in building relationships, selecting logistics third-party providers that are dedicated to being a partner for you and developing those relationships is ultra critical. I would say that's the foundation of establishing a import program. Part of the offerings that I have and part of the course that we'll talk about is selecting a third party and how to go about doing that, and then how to maintain and foster and develop that relationship. That will be the concrete, that will be the foundation of your import program. And it's ultra critical that you select the appropriate third party that can help you build it and it can grow with you as you grow your program.
Wonderful. One of the things that we talk about a lot at the World Trade Center is relationships and establishing strong partners and relationships. And when you do business and you have a friendship with those people, and developing those friendships really does help you expand your business, and it really does foster greater opportunity for you to grow in a strategic way. They also will help you mitigate risk because they may have knowledge of something that's coming down the pike that you don't know about that could help you make adjustments quickly versus not having a good relationship with your service providers where they're like, well, we tell them whatever, or we just forget because it's not that important to them to tell you that. But establishing those relationships and those partnerships are really important. We talk about that quite a bit.
I'm glad, because again, that is the foundation, and that's one of the first questions that I have with my clients is, how is your third party handling and managing your business? First of all, who are they? And how long have they been a provider? What are their offerings? And, I can assess really quickly on how mature the import program is and where the challenges may be. But it's really, really important to select and partner with the right third party to establish an import program.
Wonderful. Well, Kevin, thank you for being on Get Ready to Be Ready podcast. And we look forward to seeing you on the next session, session number 3.